Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Monday to everybody. Hey, it's that time of week again. It's Monday, which means it's time for us to go ahead and project what the College Football Playoff Committee is going to do with the rankings this week, headed into championship weekend for all the Power 5 conferences. Before I do that, though, I want to let you know I got my first shipment in today of the Cycling Out Clemson t-shirts and hoodies. Of course, you can see me. I'm wearing the hoodie here. Let me show you. Probably can't see my hoodie very well on the screen there. This is what the t-shirts look like. This is just a black t-shirt, so they have different colors, purple. I think they might be purple and black, and here's what the back looks like, so you know. Yeah, I think they might come in purple and black and crew neck or V-neck, and the t-shirts, and then the hoodies, they come in gray, white, or black. Of course, I got everything I get's black. I think I need to order some purple ones too. My wife got a black t-shirt as well, V-neck t-shirt. But anyway, yeah, so there's a link in the description for these hoodies and these shirts. Go to the link right there at teespring.com. Hit that link and you can look at all the different styles and colors and all that sort of thing. But how fitting after the South Carolina game is this cycling out thing. So get them in time for Christmas for your loved ones or maybe even for yourself. All right, so moving on. Let's go ahead and look at last week's rankings. What the committee had the teams ranked last week. All right, so there you see. Last week they had Penn State 10, Baylor 9, Minnesota 8, Oklahoma 7, Utah 6, Bama 5, Georgia 4, Clemson 3, LSU 2, and Ohio State 1. I was pretty close last week in my projections. I only missed number 9. I think I had I think I had Florida there, and but they put Baylor there. Everything else I had exactly right in my predictions of what they were going to do. Now, obviously, there's going to be some changes this week from 5 through 10. Because we had a couple teams lose, right? So Alabama lost, Minnesota lost, right? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put up on the screen here. We'll start with 10, 9, and 8. Again, I know I feel like I have to say this every time, but I'm going to have to say it. This is my projection, my best guess as to what the playoff committee is going to have these teams ranked tomorrow. Okay? 10, 9, and 8. There you have it. Number 10, Florida. Number 9, Wisconsin. Number 8, Alabama. So these are all 2-loss teams. And I think that they're going to have Alabama ranked as the highest 2-loss team. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. Florida's been sitting there at 11 for the past 3 weeks. And the fact that some of these teams ahead of them lost, I think that's going to move them up to number 10. And also they blew out Florida State. I know you're going to tell me Florida State's bad. I get it. But they blew them off the map. It wasn't even a contest from kickoff until finish. Number 9, Wisconsin handled a highly ranked Minnesota. So I think they'll move. I think they were like number 12 last week, 12 or 13, something like that. So I think they'll move up several spots. And there's a chance that Wisconsin and Alabama can be flipped. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wisconsin maybe one spot ahead of Alabama or something, but we'll see. So I have Wisconsin. I think they'll put them there at 9 and Florida at 10. So that's all your most highly ranked 2-loss teams right there, Florida, Wisconsin, and Alabama. All right, so let's look at 7, 6, and 5. All right, so last week, as you can see on the left-hand side there, they had Baylor at 9. So Baylor goes out and destroys Kansas. Now, I know Kansas is not good. What was it, like 63-7 or something? And they just completely destroyed them. Oklahoma takes care of business, pretty easily. It wasn't like a cakewalk, but they beat Oklahoma State convincingly on the road in Stillwater. And last week they were, where were they at last week? Last week they were 7, so I think they'll move up one spot this week to 6. Utah, same story as Oklahoma. So Utah goes out there and handles the team that they played and wins convincingly again. Utah's really looking like a really, really, really good team right now. So I think they'll move. They were 6 last week. I think they'll move up to 5. Now, unfortunately, for at least as far as excitement or whatever. No new news here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. I don't think you're going to see a change in the way that those are. So obviously, all these teams I project them to stay right where they were last week. Yeah, Georgia at 4, Clemson at 3, LSU 2, and Ohio State 1. Obviously, Ohio State destroys Michigan on the road. I don't think that's going to make them lose their spot. LSU beat up on a average to whatever you want to call Texas A&M at this point, an average Texas A&M team. Anyway, it was very impressive and convincing win by LSU, but the same could be said for Ohio State. And so I think Ohio State will stay at 1. Clemson destroys their in-state rival South Carolina. I think they'll stay at 3. Georgia destroys their in-state rival Georgia Tech. I think that they'll stay at 4. It's pretty much that simple. I don't think listen, next week is a whole different story. You can see potential for a lot of movement in the top 5 or 6, right? I mean, it's the last game before the playoffs or bowls start. So next week is interesting for seeding reasons. It's particularly for LSU and Ohio State. There's a debate out there. So LSU plays Georgia in the championship game. Ohio State plays Wisconsin. So if LSU beats Georgia, will they jump Ohio State? Because that'll be considered a better win than Ohio State's win over Wisconsin, right? I don't know. We'll see. Here's the other thing that matters is how they win, right? Because if Ohio State goes out there and beats Wisconsin 60-10, I don't see them losing that spot no matter what happens with LSU and Georgia. If it's a close game and then LSU handles Georgia, I think they'll jump. So it's not just who they're playing this week. I think it's how they play or how they win or how they lose or whatever you want to look at. It's how the game goes, the end score and all that. I don't see, provided that Clemson wins against Virginia and Charlotte this weekend, I don't think they'll move up. I don't think they'll move down. I think they'll stay right there at 3. I've been saying that for weeks. So this is where the seeding matters for the first round of the playoffs. Obviously getting into the playoffs is the first and foremost. That's the goal. Where you're seated, to some people might not matter. It's a matter of opinion. But I can tell you right now, I'd prefer to play LSU or Georgia or Utah or Oklahoma or Baylor or whoever that 4 team. I'd prefer to play them rather than Ohio State in round 1. Okay. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. So there you guys have it. My projections for this week is Florida 10, Wisconsin 9, Alabama 8, Baylor 7, Oklahoma 6, Utah 5, Georgia 4, Clemson 3, LSU 2, and Ohio State 1. And we'll see exactly how close I can get. It's been a great college football season. It's kind of sad that it's almost over, to be honest. Obviously, if you're one of these teams that are still alive, if your team's playing this weekend in a championship game, you're excited. If your team is still one of these teams that has a chance to make it into the playoffs and make a run in the national championships, you're still very excited. But honestly, the regular season is over. So these Saturday afternoons full of college football games from noon all the way till 2 a.m. And those days are over until next August. That's kind of depressing in itself. But hey, it's been a great season. For all of you guys that are new here, maybe with me this season, this channel does not go away when the season ends. I do college football year round. I still, even during the off season, there's a lot of things to talk about, believe it or not, and I'll find things to talk about, but a lot of things in the news, and maybe I'll just do a lot of trash talking during the off season, that sort of thing. But anyway, I still make 5-6 videos a week during the off season through the entire year. I also still do live shows, still do call-in shows all throughout the year. So this is a year-round thing. It's not just a seasonal thing here. So just keep that in mind. If you're one of these teams that didn't make the postseason, that doesn't mean the season's over. For us college football fans, it never ends. Have a great day. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Pigskin Pete checking out.